Now, and leaders in the Great Lakes region have given the last remaining rebel group in the DRC, that's the FDLR, that includes perpetrators of the 1994 genocide of Tutsis, 6 months to disarm or face military action. Now, this came out at the end of a one-day meeting of the International Conference on the Great Lakes region, which ended in the Angolan capital, Luanda. Now, given South Africa's experience in peacekeeping and its contribution to the 20,000-strong UN Stabilisation Mission in the DRC, President Jacob Zuma was invited to the one-day meeting. Well, Stephanie Walters is the program manager of Conflict Prevention and Public Analysis Management with the Institute of Security Studies, and she joins us now on the PM News Desk. Good afternoon, Stephanie, and thank you for your time on the News Desk.
Thank you.
How motivated are the FDLR at this point to put down their arms?
Well, in fact, this deadline is a lifeline to them. They had come out of many years of being in the bush earlier this year and essentially announced that they were going to surrender voluntarily. This came after what we knew was going to be military pressure from the Force Intervention Brigade, of which South Africa is a part, which had as its next target the FDLR after defeating last year the M23. So the military campaign was expected to start much earlier. They have said they want to voluntarily disarm, but they haven't shown any real commitment to doing that, missing a May 30th deadline to do so. So this is a lifeline that the ICJLR is giving them.
Would you say the decision to give the FDLR 6 months to disarm is a controversial one, and why?
It's very controversial. I think a lot of people were doubtful about their sincerity about disarming when they made those declarations. The sense was that they were trying to buy time. The fact that then only a few hundred did actually disarm in May was further confirmation of this. The ICJLR is really the only international actor with, I suppose, South Africa that is now supporting this extended lifeline. The MONUSCO, as well as regional envoys, have said it's time to go after the FDLR. This is also what Kagame, the president of Rwanda, is expecting. It was essentially the quid pro quo for no longer backing the M23, who were defeated last year. So Rwanda is not very happy about this, even though it is a member of the ICJLR. But we heard that very clearly said yesterday by Rwanda's foreign minister. They're not happy about this extended deadline.
Reintegration back into communities, of course, the end game. But how realistic is this, seeing that the FDLR is still associated with the 1994 genocide, and to whom, like you say, Kigali has categorically refused to speak with time and time again?
Well, over the last 10 years, over 10,000 FDLR and family members have actually returned to Rwanda under a UN disarmament program. And even today, out of the estimated 2,000 that are still in the DRC, only a small group of those are people who are believed to have been associated with the genocide. And these people face international criminal prosecution. The question of where these FDLR go, though, is a very pertinent one. In fact, right now, those who have already surrendered within the DRC, there's a lot of resistance to them being taken out of the Kivus where they've been active and moved to other parts of the DRC because they are considered a threat. And there is some talk, instead of sending them back to Rwanda, where they may not feel that they'll live in peace, of sending them to a third country. So it's very controversial and many questions that haven't yet been answered.
Stephanie, what happens if the rebels don't cooperate? What's the next step?
The next step is a military campaign against them. They've essentially, which now would be launched at the end of December, they've essentially gained a year. So that is the very firm message from the UN and other big powers that the military campaign will follow.
Thank you so much for your time on the PM News Desk. That was Stephanie Walters from the Security Studies Institute. Well, it's time for